Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Silent Hill Ascension pre-show. I am Eduardo, joined here by Noah, and Noah is going to do the pleasure, as production pulls that up for us, of explaining what the run-of show it will be for tonight.
Yes, Eduardo, I'm sure everybody missed you as much as I did. So today's show, we have our pre-show right now. And then we have those pre-shows also every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So keep coming back at 5:40 Pacific time. Then we have the show every day at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then we have on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have our post shows. So stick around for that.
I'm glad to be back, Noah. I am, because the thing is, Silent Hill Ascension is a really unique experience, right? A socially interactive streaming series where everyone at Hope collectively shapes and experiences the evolving story, right? Every day you get to see new scenes, you get to see the evolution, you get to see what your decisions are leading down to. So as you do that, remember that the choices you're making are basically going to make the story and they become canon, which means that when, the weekly episode, for example, combines and somebody watches it, you that's been following it along and making those decisions, you're the ones who have shaped that. So that's very unique. But the big thing here is we want to make sure you're up to speed. So our production team is going to throw a video from, I believe, yesterday, where Toby, Rachel is essentially trying to find someone to give a lead on where Toby is, but something goes a little wrong. So I'll let you see. I'm not going to spoil it too much if you haven't seen it. Enjoy.
Yeah. Hello? Hey! Don't I know you?
I don't think so.
You were Joy's dealer. She told me about you.
Look, I haven't seen her in months. Not since she joined the Foundation.
Yeah, we helped her get clean.
You're Rachel?
Yeah?
Toby talks about you sometimes.
Toby. I need to find him. Do you know where he is?
He doesn't like you very much. But he listens to me. He likes me.
Listen, I need Toby to do something for me. Would you help me talk to him? Fine. How much?
What?
Money. Use it to buy more drugs. Whatever you want. Just help me, please.
Getting high sometimes stops them from coming. Or maybe I just don't notice them. Blood. I need yours.
What?
For protection. From them. Please. Just a little. A drop. And I'll help you.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, as much as you can enjoy a stranger asking for one of our main protagonists' blood. But speaking of which here, we got Noah, who was there on Monday, and you had the chance to talk to Layla a little bit about the story so far. And I know one of the things you are a big fan of was kind of that triangle dynamic between Carl, Ingrid, and Mette.
Yeah.
Sorry, Astrid, my bad.
Yeah, sure. No, Mette is actually, I think Ingrid was such a horrendous woman, it seems. And Mette, really, I don't blame Carl for having that tension throughout the years with Mette. And I also don't blame Astrid for being kind of pissed about all that. But speaking of the scene that we just saw with Rachel looking for Toby, I don't know if y'all noticed, and Rachel's ringtone, if you know, you know. It's a hint to our beautiful franchise. So yeah, what did you think about that scene? And this was a member of the audience, right? The dealer.
Yeah, no, there was a member of the audience that decided to kind of come in and be a horrible human being all across the board. So fantastic job. I mean, it is a horror series at the end of the day, so I think that being a horrifying character is a perfect fit into the atmosphere. But it's kind of like, for me, there's there's a little bit of anticipation brewing, right? There's a lot of energy forming around Toby. Like, kind of the foundation is really coming to a head of that, right? With last week, there was that huge scene where Toby kind of attacked them. So again, that decision was yours, the audience, that Toby attacked the foundation, and kind of like everything's going down, and kind of I feel this tension building up.
Right. So there is definitely a tension building up, and we're kind of like, we're not sure where this is going, what we're gonna do with what is Rachel gonna do really with what Xavier asked her, which is to try to bring Toby in. So we're gonna see how that unfolds, and you the audience have an impact on that too. So really excited to see how the decision that's closing today is gonna unfold, because it's pretty tight today. It's tighter than it was with the attack the foundation, right?
No, it is. Well, it's in a way, it's actually in the direction of redemption. But let's actually put that decision up on screen. Our production team's going to put that up. Noah is going to do a lovely job reading that to us.
Right.
Well.
So how will Rachel convince Toby to join the foundation, as we just said? Will she apologize for her faults, which would be the redemption option in this case, or will she offer protection, which is the suffering option? Interesting, right? And then she also has the option to threaten domination, which obviously is the donation option. And I'm really interested in how come the suffering option is to offer protection. Who's gonna make her suffer? The foundation?
Well, for me, it's basically, it's not really resolving the problem, right? If you're apologizing for what you did, you're on that redemption path. If you're escalating things here, so to speak, like you're going that damnation path, but like offering protection doesn't really kind of solve the thing. So for me here, the main thing about this decision is really kind of this idea, though, of what Rachel's character is made of. So far, Rachel's fate has been trending towards redemption. A lot of the decisions with her were in the first week, where we kind of saw redemption across the board. And the audience is still there. It seems like the audience really likes kind of like Rachel being on this redemption path.
Right. I can understand, she's a mother. It's we all had mothers, even at some point. And we do relate to that, I think. And also Rachel, there's something kind of in control about her that kind of ensues confidence. Not if you ask Krista, by the way, which I don't know if you remember, but I did mention in the past that I kind of low-key am fangirling on Krista. I really like her, like High Pony. But that reminds me, let's talk a little bit about the fate and hope system we have, because it's going to make a really big difference in where our characters are going. So the decisions and the endurance scenes and the puzzles and all of this, all of those contribute to whether a character will face redemption, suffering, or domination in the Silent Hill final. And their fate is decided across the length of the season. So a character's hope needs to be high enough for them to survive a crucial moment in the story. So make sure you play those puzzles, make sure you take part in those decisions. But Eduardo, could you please tell us more about that?
Sure, of course. So one of the big things here, right, is this idea of hope. So in other experiences you might have seen, it's kind of similar to sanity. We call it, for us, it's about really the hope. And by doing kind of those endurance scenes you've been seeing after the live stream, there's one coming up. We'll talk about that afterwards. But also the puzzles kind of when you're more relaxed in the mindfulness area, and again, they're free for everybody to use, that is going to raise their hope and going to give them a better chance to survive. The one thing I'll say here is it does say, their long-term chances across the season. How shall I put this? Across the season is many, many, many weeks. And across we're going through essentially a lot of story. We'll see what happens to those characters, but if you haven't been paying attention to Fate and Hope, I would start doing so. I would definitely start paying very close attention to where some of your favorite characters are. Now, to kind of affect, though, on decisions, that does require influence points. Noah, if you could explain a little bit more about those.
I would love to, Eduardo. So once a decision is made by the audience, it's canon. So there's no reset button. thing is that it's permanent. It's gonna be there. So these decisions are defined by the influence points that the audience uses to participate in the decision to influence them one way or another, to influence the narrative. So the more influence points you have, the more sway you will have for the decisions you care about. So you can earn influence points by taking part in endurances, which we're going to have one during the live show, and we'll explain about that in a little bit, or by doing the puzzles, which personally I find very soothing. And you can gain them via direct purchase or season pass alternatively.
Yeah, so one of the things today is our production team's going to reflow that decision that's closing back on screen. Noah, if you could go through it quickly again. And then the thing is, this is very much a fake decision, right? It's this idea of different paths are in there, the redemption, the suffering, the damnation.
Right. So the fate decision today is, how will Rachel convince Toby to join the Foundation? So will she apologize for her faults, which is the redemption option, or will she offer protection, which is the suffering option, or will she threaten damnation, which is the damnation option? So Eduardo, could you give us some more context about that?
Sure. So one of the things here is, this is kind of like a system that we have across, again, Silent Hill Ascension. So the big thing here is, when we're looking at this decision, again, it's really about who Rachel is as a person. So you watching at home, it's about a bunch of things, right? Some of you are going to care about Rachel, the character, and how Rachel's actually going to go through the experience. Maybe some of you genuinely like Rachel and want her to survive, or not, but like a lot of it is going towards redemption. Maybe some of you believe that Rachel's character naturally tends towards wanting to do good towards others given her situation. Now, again, she's in a cult. So that's not a typical situation of wanting to do well by others, but it is part of her character, as you, the audience at home, are essentially sane. So the thing is, when you're choosing kind of those paths, you're choosing what those characters' motivations are. Now, not all characters are kind of going down that redemption path. If you look, for example, at Carl in Norway, that's different. Carl actually has currently damnation showing and has negative hope, which, not the best for our boy Carl, I guess, here. But it's the thing. Maybe you believe that Carl's actions essentially lead down that path. And Noah, that's one big thing, right? It's when you're watching a horror show, there are characters, well, how should I put it? There's a catharsis to seeing some characters move away. Right.
So it's, this is a really cool way to kind of, you kind of get to speculate on what the character would want to do and what you want to see the outcome would be. And how many times, we've been pissed because we saw somebody going there when, they shouldn't be. Don't say I'll be right back. How about that? Don't say I'll be right back. Don't read the Latin, out loud. In this case, maybe don't read the runes, or, you have all kinds of stuff not to read out loud, preferably. But this time you get to have a choice. You get to have an impact. And that's really, I think, exciting that it allows you to become part of canon. And I'm so stoked that I get to be part of one of my favorite universes, which is the Silent Hill universe. And I'm sure the audience is too.
Yeah, and one of the things is we should actually look at that current decision, right? Because time is closing soon. I'm actually checking it again on my phone. There was actually a rally for damnation, people trying kind of in these last 7-8 minutes to pick up, which is funny. But right now we got 49% redemption. Suffering, the offer protection was not really an option. That was too popular at 19, and we got damnation at 32. So again, it's involving, Rachel, who's kind of on that redemption path, and it's sticking to that redemption path. So one of the big things though here is we're talked about fate a lot, but we're going to move to hope, because our production team's going to throw one of the endurance scenes that's going to play tonight. So that's after the show. Noah, if you can introduce us essentially to what the audience will have to do here.
Yeah, so we have a fun activity for you. One of our main story characters grabs the pistol, but it was next to something, not quite dead. And the character enters the room only to find themselves surrounded by fighters, which are human-like figures chasing them. And you will have to help them dispatch these horrors by timing your inputs on the character as the character exits, the pistol will be blown away from them by a stinger, and one of you, the audience members, will appear on screen as a cameo to shoot the monster down and help the main character before being chased down and probably eaten alive, saving our story character in the process. That was a lot of fun.
No, yeah, no, it always is. So one of the things with these endurance scenes, right, is this idea that if the characters in them keep failing, their hope goes down, it goes into negative, and that's not going to lead to them maybe doing so well later on, potentially permanent death in the story. So, but you're tuning in live. One of the benefits of tuning in live is that you're going to potentially get a lot of influence points from participating live in our endurance scenes. And again, remember, this affects the character. This isn't a judgment on you at home, on the success or failure. You're kind of just deciding at the best as you can what will happen to that character in a way that's a little different. And you know, one of the things with these endurance scenes, we'll talk about this a little bit in the post show as well. We know, like, the dev team knows that we wanted to improve those, so they're already a little bit shorter than they were. That was part of, again, user feedback. So thank you so much for all of you at home doing that. So you know, public places, writing to us on feedback@genvid.com, a bunch of places giving us that feedback. Thank you so much. And the dev updates, I'll have something more as well, Noah. But like, one of the things, Noah, was there something about the endurance scenes that to you is quite striking?
I really love to see all those spooky creatures in the endurance scenes. That's my favorite part, because I'm a spooky, I was gonna say a B word, but I will just say female dog. I'm a spooky lady. Anyway, but you know, Eduardo, we are 2 minutes away from the show. So could you recap a little bit? There's so much going on. Please help me.
Sure. So there's actually a lot going on. The main thing is it's building up, right? We kind of had a big moment last week with Toby attacking the Foundation, but now things are kind of setting up, right? It's the tension is building slowly up. As you're going left and right, the scenes are about tension increasing, about things starting to be in play. The payoff isn't quite yet, right? We can see that it's going to take some time for this to do. Tonight, you're probably going to see a little more of that setup. No spoilers, but again, it's going to take some time, but I hope you do enjoy what's going to happen as a result of the decisions you're making at home and of what these characters are going to do with them. Now, as a reminder, Noah and myself will be back for the post show. We're very, very much looking forward to it. But that said, the show's going to start soon. We really hope you enjoy it. So I'm going to sign off for now for myself, Eduardo, as well as Noah, wishing you a terrific show. See you later.